Hello Transformers fans, this is Transformers fan G138, and I'm here with another video review. This was a requested review by somebody. Anyway, point being, I'm doing a video review of my reissue of Soundwave. This is actually quite an interesting special reissue, and I'll get into that a little more. This is from the San Diego Comic-Con a couple of years. I believe 2009 they did this. And then 2010 was Blaster. Sounds right. I could be wrong on that, so don't take that as fact. I believe those were right, though. So Soundwave actually came with 3... Oh, no. Soundwave was the one that came with 4. Blaster came with 3. He came with 4 cassettes, Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, Ravage, and Ratbat. And I'll get into these guys a little bit later. For now, I want to talk about how awesome Soundwave is. What's unique about the San Diego Comic-Con versions of the reissues are these are way more G1 accurate than the reissues from previously, like Hasbro released a commemorative edition Soundwave, the Toys R Us exclusives, and as well as they did an alternate package of it too, and I forget where that one was sold, but it was also an exclusive somewhere. And then there was also the Takara Tomy one, and that's okay. But the problem with all of those, they were the... Okay, let me give you a little background on this, because otherwise it won't make sense. Basically, in the Transformers Headmaster series in Japan, they killed Soundwave and Blaster and rebuilt them into Sound Blaster and Twincast. Now, interestingly enough, they actually re-engineered the mold a little bit, so each of them could hold 2 tape cassettes inside their body. Soundwave's came out a little bit from his chest, so you could actually fit 2 tapes in there. That was cool, but not G1 accurate. So all of the reissues up until this one actually had that extended piece. It was using the Japanese version of the mold, the Sound Blaster mold. And I thought that was pretty neat, but actually, if you're looking at the box, it actually depicts him with that bigger chest thing coming out of his chest. And I'm like, okay, but whatever. So, Soundwave's pretty awesome, though. This is literally his G1 mold. The nice way to tell the difference, though, if you're looking for the G1 version, they always include markings on these guys. Like, I know where Blaster's is right off. Like, they have this new numbering system now, where they stamp it on and mold a secondary code right underneath it. So, that's a way to determine reissues from vintages. So, like most Generation 1 Transformers, he has a rub sign in its proper location. They actually applied all the stickers ahead of time. I'm not sure if that's new or not, but that was nice. It has the same push button release mechanism, nice and spring loaded. He's got a chrome dial here to sound dial. Like this is a tape deck, right? And then AM FM switch. I think that's supposed to be. I don't know. I could be wrong. Switch directions. I don't know. Anyway, he's got his buttons down here. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. He's also got a belt clip, which is just wicked, because you could actually clip this on your belt, and if you're a kid in the 80s, this would have been really cool. You know, carry your Transformer around on your belt loop. That's really cool. I always thought that was neat. In addition to that, he can actually hold the transforming tape decks within him. So that is neat. I like that. If anybody likes this, then the Masterpiece version of this guy is coming out soon. and I think I'm going to end up getting him just because it's Soundwave. I love Soundwave. That's why I paid almost $100 for this reissue. Cannot for the life of me find a decent condition vintage. Although, I don't have very many vintage Transformer sellers around me either. So, I'll get into the transformation because it's pretty simple on this guy. What's cool, so we'll start off here in the back. If you pull off the battery case, which is pretty unique because, you know, everything had battery cases, pop out the batteries, which are actually his weapons. Set those aside. Put the battery case thing back in. Then pull the legs down. Rotate them forward. Pop the legs, the feet out. Rotate the arms out. Head up and turn. And that's pretty much you got Soundwave in robot mode. Almost. Then you take the missiles, the guns here. This one you take, here's the downside of the Generation 1 Transformers. All their accessories and weapons were pretty much separate. So basically you put that in there, and you put this in his hand, and you have his gun. And this piece, molded like a machine gun, goes on his shoulder. And there you have Soundwave in robot mode. I love Soundwave. He's one of my favorite Decepticons. And I gotta say, this is one of my favorite Generation 1 Transformers just because of how mobile he is. I mean, yeah, he's got the wrong hinge feet, but he's got, like, some decent posability in the arms. He can go all the way around. He's got a nice joint there. You know, do that if you want to finagle around with the back panel. And you don't, for Generation 1, that's a lot of motion. And his head moves, of course. So, you can get some pretty cool, you know, it's Soundwave, it's Generation 1, he doesn't have a lot of movement. But, just like in the other mode, put the tape decks in his chest, deploy them, you know. I'll get into these guys in a minute, but, yeah, so I love this guy, you know, he did end up coming with an extra 2 of these, so, yeah, I mean, the missile launchers don't really launch the missiles, so it's kind of weird, but it works, I guess. It's meant for display. The package looked great. I don't actually have that with me, but it really did. So I'll put this guy away for a minute, and we'll talk about the cassettes. Since Rat-Bat's right here, I'll give him first. Each cassette in the set actually came with a little cassette case, and I thought that was pretty cool. I love these. Anyway, so for Rat-Bat, it's pretty simple. He's a bat. Yep, so basically these pull out, fold down, these ears fold up, face folds forward, his feet fold down. Then you have 2 gold chromed weapons that you put in thrusters and weapons kind of thing. Put them in the tape deck holes there, and there you have his like weird radar cannons, and yeah, and again he has got the rub sign on this guy too, which is nice. And they actually have legit metal on here, which is nice. So that guy aside, move on to Ravage. He's the next in my pile. I actually did have a Ravage toy at one point, and he actually had an actual vintage version, and he had a different sticker here. He had one that looked like a... He actually had one that looked like a... On Laserbeak here with the... You could like look through the window and see the tape. that's kind of what it looked like. Well, anyway, they're all stamped with a name called Metal Poison, which is supposedly one type of band, and it's kind of cool that they have that consistently throughout it. Give the G1 guys head on that. So basically, for this guy, you want to pull down his feet, flip his tail around, and pull his head down. And he does stand up a little harder too because he's so thin. He too has some weapons. They just go back here in his hips. By the way, I'd just like to take the opportunity and point out that G1 Ravage is way better than movie Ravage. And while we have Soundwave here, this is the Ravage that comes with Hound. If I quickly transform this guy. Well, hang on. I want to show something off first, because it'll be cool. So, the weapons from the original Ravage can actually fit into the hips of this gun. I wouldn't recommend doing it too much, because you'll rub off the chrome, but it can be done. So, that's neat. So, transforming this guy really fast back into a cassette that came with Hound. Not nearly as decorated as the originals. Like, you can't really tell that's a tape deck. So, but what's neat is this actually was designed to fit in the original Soundwave's chest. Designed to fit doesn't actually mean fit, apparently. So, yeah, go Hasbro on that one. I have got this guy to fit in here before. It's just making sure all the panels line up. Anyway, he supposedly fits in there. Whatever. Also, from pictures I've seen of the Masterpiece Edition, it looks like the Masterpiece guys can actually fit in the original, and the original can fit in the Masterpiece, or something like that. So, now I'll get into Laserbeak. Oh, sorry, Buzzsaw. You can tell Laserbeak and Buzzsaw because Laserbeak is red and Buzzsaw is gold. And, yeah. So, this is nice. Also, with the Metal Poison band name. So, we'll go ahead and flip these two things down to start with. These things out. And just kind of give the head a couple little nudges here to get out with your fingernail. Wow, he does not want to come out of there. And then you take these silver weapons and jetpacks and plug them right into the body. And there you have Laserbeak. Oh, sorry, Buzzsaw, not Laserbeak. And, of course, everybody's famous Cassette, real Laserbeak here. This one's slightly easier to get his head out on. Don't know why, but it is. And for some reason on my particular Laserbeak here, one of these does not want to stay in properly. I don't know why. Neither of them do. I don't know why. I think it might be just the paint or something. I don't know. Anyway, there he is. Laserbeak and Buzzsaw. And just for fun, there's Laserbeak and Soundwave. And there's that piece that always flies off. So, that's that. Awesome Soundwave, one of my favorite Transformers of all time. That concludes my video review on Transformer Soundwave. Totally recommend picking up any version of Soundwave possible for any sort of collector, because G1 is always going to be awesome, unless you're into mobility. And then in that case, you'll want to collect Transformers Classic toys. And yeah, I have a Mega Man action figure there temporarily, but he's there. So if you have any further requests for video reviews, please leave a comment down below and I will add it to the list. If you have any further questions on Soundwave or versions of Soundwave, please post a comment down below and I will get back to you as well. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.